Hello again, wrestling fans. This is Discuss Impact. I'm JaySin, back again with my man Gary, the Horror King, who is... Whoa. Yeah, Gary's got his usual thing going on over there. We'll get to Gary in a second. We have a lot of news this week. Just want to start off, for anyone new, we're going to mix it up a little. We're trying to do 10 minutes of news or a little less before the episode review, but then we're going to try and cut down that review to like 20 minutes, so the whole thing should be done in 30, hopefully. And we're available on most every podcast app, so follow, subscribe, like, and all that nice stuff. Okay, going to start off with the big news, which was CM Punk showing up backstage at the latest Impact tapings. Sasha Banks was in the audience, and this was all for Naomi debuting. So that's like three really big stars right there in one story. What do you think, Gary? Quick thoughts?
I liked what they did. From what I did see online, I liked how they kind of concealed all of their, identities to a degree to just, to prevent that being a problem later on, like a lawsuit or a cease and desist letter from the WWE or whoever.
Now, this is some late news that we actually tried recording last night, and we had some issues, so sorry we're very late this week, but Fightful Select reports that Punk played Uno and spoke with over a dozen Impact talent while he was there. Punk reportedly had kind words to say for a couple of wrestlers he met, and everyone there described him as pleasant and seemed very happy to be there. Punk, oh, sorry, I just had the same thing there twice. Okay, then we also have a report from PWI. Ricky Morton, WWE Hall of Famer, was working backstage as a producer, which is really cool. Brian Myers was also working as a producer, which I think is really interesting because I think he'll probably end up there, like at the end or whatever. Impact Wrestling officials were thrilled with the size and energy of the live audience at the Cicero tapings over the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting mixed up. We're trying to review a show, talk about an upcoming show, and we got spoilers and review. We're not doing spoilers, but I read them, so I'm a little messed up.
Two-night taping, wasn't it, Jay?
Yeah, and it said, while the taping wasn't exactly sold out, it was like, they add. Well, I don't actually understand. Okay, so here's what they say. Ready? I don't actually understand how this. They added. Well, they said it was reportedly house full. I'm not sure what that word means. With extra bleachers and additional seats were installed, owing to late ticket demands and walk-ups. But then it says, but it wasn't exactly sold out. It did excellently, and live attendance increased from the last trip to Chicago.
Well, I think the reason why it says it's not completely sold out is probably because it kind of reached the maximum ability to where they could fill it, because anything higher than that, you're going to be like looking at, like fire codes and things like that. I mean, just from the pictures alone that I saw, I mean, that was a standing room only kind of crowd. And I don't know, if it wasn't a sellout, it was damn close.
Well, here's my question. Is houseful a word? Let me know in the comment section.
I guess
sure.
it is. I guess sure. It comes to Impact.
I mean, I think it was Mike Johnson, so I'm sure he knows words. But okay, so Jordan posted a cool picture with Punk, and like she kept it like really secretive. Then she talked about it. She was like a total mark. Like she said, I was just standing there, like I didn't. She's like, we didn't talk or anything. She's like, I just stood there waiting for him to for people to stop talking to him, and then I asked for a selfie nicely, and then he said you have bigger arms than me, and I said thank you, sir. So I don't know, really cool story. Yes,
really cool
belated. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, just a really cool exchange between the two. She's probably in awe of seeing CM Punk and Impact too. That probably had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, who's not like a Punk fan just from whatever, or was at some point. But so really cool. And what else? Under Siege, they announced an X Division match: Trey Miguel versus Chris Sabin. I love that.
Oh, I do too. It's old, like I said last night when we were doing the recording so many times. It's like the old school versus the new school of X Division.
Yeah, and I don't know. Who do you think wins? Just real quick.
Honestly, I see Trey retaining only because I get this feeling like he's ready for a big push. And I didn't know if you noticed recently, he was seen on Twitter, kind of on a confrontational level with Amazing Red.
Oh, interesting.
So
Wow,
I
cool
wouldn't
for
be
him.
surprised if we get a program between them two, and I wouldn't doubt maybe that will be the next program for Trey. And then because
Gotcha.
of that, that's probably why he retains, just because they'll have a Trey versus Amazing Red.
Okay, now we got Kazarian, who tweeted yesterday. I've been in a lot of different locker rooms over the years. I can say with certainty, Impact Wrestling locker room is hands down the most positive, welcoming, and talented group I've been around. The entire team, behind the camera and front, are firing on all cylinders. That was from he tweeted that yesterday. So pretty cool. And I mean, how great is it to have him back? Just like
No,
to just
I kind of thought like maybe he came to Impact because things weren't working well in AEW, and he just came here because he really didn't have an awful lot of opportunities elsewhere. But with him saying stuff like that, it seems like he truly wants to be a locker room leader, especially while Josh is kind of like not into the picture right now.
yeah, check out some interviews with him. I mean, they literally had one on the episode, which was really cool. And I believe part one is on YouTube. It was part one of I'm guessing 2-part series of Kazarian.
Oh, yeah, I believe next week is this where this came from? Is the part 1 of 2?
Yeah,
Because
that was tonight.
I know later down on the page I'm looking at for the show that we were reviewing tonight,
Yeah.
they part 2 interview next week. So
Yeah, so yeah, part one was on the last week's show. Really cool,
oh,
really nicely done. Along with the oldest video, I thought was nicely done, but we'll get to that or whatever. Another interesting thing, Tessa Blanchard, or I thought it was interesting. I don't know. Tessa Blanchard is kind of coming back, or I don't know if she has been back, but she's doing a tour. I forget the name of it, and I think her first few matches will be at CWE Canada, which is a promotion that my new pal Josh goes to, who gave us the information at the tapings from the tapings last time on the podcast, which is cool. So, but in the picture, she's wearing the Impact Wrestling Championship, and I thought it was interesting. A few other people thought it was interesting. Josh kind of said, "It's a picture. Come on, man." And, I was like, "Hey, don't ruin my fun, dude." But it's either one of those things. I'm sure it's just a picture, but I don't know. I think she did it. You know what I mean? She could have used any picture. Like,
oh yeah, she probably was setting it up for like think of the possibilities. Like me
yeah,
back in the knockout picture.
yeah.
I could really get behind this if maybe Scott is talking to her, because weren't we like under sort of like a different regime when all that went down? I mean, we weren't like Don Callis. I know might have been there, and
Good
like
question.
you know what I mean. Like so, like maybe there was some hot heat between.
I mean, she did kind of hold the belt hostage, didn't she?
Yeah, for geez, I don't know, a few months,
I mean,
and people were saying, and why didn't she just drop the title?
yeah.
Like when
I
she
mean, I
was,
don't know about all that shit. I mean, this business we have no idea about, but I would like I definitely don't want to see her come back and like go after Maclin. Like, I just don't think it's. I mean, back then it was the right time, I think, and it all worked out. Like, I think it would be cool if she did come after Maclin, and Deanna was like, "F that, you got to go through me." You know what I mean? And then Deanna
oh,
like maybe beats her once, then it becomes a feud. Like, you have to kind of earn it.
but plus too, it wouldn't hurt to have her back in the picture because we might be able to get her husband back, Daga. That would be
Oh
pretty.
yeah,
I
yeah. I
would
mean,
X division or whatever.
I was going to say, we shouldn't just assume people's husbands and wives will show up, but that's kind of how Impact seems to be. Real family
Yeah.
place, and I mean, I guess they love it. You know what I mean? If you're a wrestler, I'm sure it's great. But okay, also got a little note here. I had a bunch of group comments from the Impact Wrestling group on Facebook, which is up to like over 150 people now, whatever. And I had a bunch of comments from the show, and I apologize because we recorded this twice, and then I deleted a bunch of stuff. But I got one from Robert Phillips III, who says the upcoming match between Sabin and Speedball, which it's on this week's show, not the one we're talking about, but the upcoming show, this Thursday show, says the match was absolutely amazing. So that should be, I mean, those names, I'm sure it would be interesting, would be amazing, but makes it even better or more
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm not seeing the Sabin match this week. It doesn't say that. I'm thinking it may be the following week, maybe.
That is possible. They also just added a match for this Thursday as Diener challenged Sammy. Now, I think this might be the street fight, maybe, that we were talking about last time that didn't air, but I don't know. So I think it's time. I think that's all the news, right? Unless you have anything.
No, I'd just like to kind of reiterate about your group, though. Last time I looked, you're up to 158. I approved somebody today, so hopefully they don't go wild on your group.
Son of a bitch! That's who's promoting people. Sorry, that's who's approving people. I keep forgetting I have another. So every time I see people getting loud, whatever. Sorry, that's stupid group stuff. But sorry, that's stupid group stuff. But check it out. Okay, now we're gonna get into. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's the latest episode of Impact, the 427 episode, I believe. Now, I'll say this was just, and I think everybody or most people in the group that had comments, like they weren't like amazing. Like I don't think anyone said it was a great or good show. It was like, oh, this show was okay, or like it was solid, and I think that's pretty fair. And when we talked last time, we said it kind of felt like last week's show, where nothing really terrible, just it was okay or good, some good stuff.
Yeah, I'd go so far as to say this week's was slightly better, only because I thought that the knockouts kind of like brought it home. I kind of felt like there was some really stiff knockout competition this week, and I normally not a knock on the knockouts. I'm fine usually with one segment with the knockouts, but I was going into this thinking we were getting two, and I was kind of like iffy about it, but I was very impressed with the two bouts that were on the card. So
yeah, there was a lot
like that. I'm all for a show like this.
There were 3 knockout matches on this show.
Oh, there was 3? I was thinking there was just a 2.
Yeah, no, the
Oh, okay, with Jody.
Yeah. Masha versus Jordan, which really good match. Worked great together. I don't know what the hell is going on with Masha's booking. I feel like this would have been a great time where she could have, because they went back and forth with the pins at the end, and I feel like this would have been a great time for her to like hold it tight. Jordan could take a loss like that; it wouldn't hurt her at all.
Well, I don't know why we're not looking into signing the talent that Sparks. I can't remember what her first name was. I don't know why we're not looking at maybe signing her. We need all the enhancement talent we can get.
Well, hey, relax. Maybe they are. you don't know that, but yeah, she lost. I don't know how to Silesia Sparks. I'm not sure how to say that, but she lost to Jody Threat in a pretty solid match, and I think, like you said yesterday, she was like a really good look. Sparks and Jody, I think, has been coming off really, really well. Like I don't know, she just like kind of has like a different, I don't know, approach, like kind of like more powerful or.
Yeah, she kind of has like a kind of like a bit of a chaotic side to her, kind of like a Sami Callihan, just like more like a female version of it. A little bit, like, you know what I mean? Like, I got a feeling she could cause a lot of chaos in the future in the knockouts.
Yeah, also got to mention, Jordan got the win there. Got to mention, I really I loved it, and we've been talking about this for how long with Killer Kelly, just getting a fun little, whatever it was, 60-second, 40-second little, the hell do you call it?
Vignette.
Little vignette, how she loves violence, and it was also kind of hot, you know what I mean? And we've been saying that, like, use that. That's what they did. Like, when she came in, that was her character, and I loved it. But now we're back to that.
I just came up with an idea just sitting here. We're kind of plugging, like, the shop and for Impact. And, like, with Jody Threat, I don't know why they don't try getting some Jody Threat shirts out there with the F416 on it. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like.
I'm sure they will. I mean, the last name Threat is just so good for shirts that, I'm sure they could make as many as. I'd buy one of those shirts, you know what I mean? If you get a cool word or whatever in there. Joe Hendry, I thought this was kind of odd. Also, if we missed it, happy belated birthday. It was his birthday yesterday or whenever. It's also The Rock's birthday today. So, happy birthday to the great one. So, I thought it was weird how they mentioned Joe Hendry broke his nose, and they were like, hopefully we'll see him back in the Impact Zone soon. Like, it wasn't like, we will, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I just caught that wording oddly or whatever. I thought Maclin. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I don't mean to switch gears here, but I wanted to start this thing on the channel because, like I said, we're dealing with the, like, Shop Impact. And I was looking at like maybe doing an idea for podcast shirt of the week. Like this week, I chose Sammy Callahan's Robo Death, now on sale for $24.99 to $26.99. So you're on Shop Impact. Just tell them you are here to buy the podcast shirt of the channel. So
yeah, and see that's a real fan. We don't have our own T-shirts. Who the hell's wearing if you're wearing a podcast T-shirt instead of the T-shirt of the promotion, you're an idiot in my opinion. I'll just straight out say that. Promote the goddamn promotion, not a bunch of podcasters. Jesus God, they don't even whatever.
Didn't mean to have us go off kill.
Sorry, you're gonna send me in a whole different direction here. But speaking of my group, I had a poll up about if Speedball should have a Cobra Kai like faction. And I kind of won. I mean, it was like 60-40 to like meh, which got like, I think, 1 vote. And also, I can't really tell because it's my group, and I don't think, I'm sure there's some people who wouldn't want to vote against because I could see their faces and names in the group. But whatever. I mean, I don't know. I think you like the idea. I mean, it's
yeah. I love that idea. I love Cobra Kai. I love the show. I love, the backstory, the idea.
And like, even if you don't know Cobra Kai, like, forget it. It's just a karate group, you know what I mean? Or it's just like a group of like, it's Speedball teaching guys his style of wrestling, which is very different. And I feel like that alone would work. So whatever. I mean, I thought that was cool. I'm curious if people would like that. And my man Robles came up with some cool stuff on that, and he sent friggin' a list of the character names and a bunch of guys who we'd want to see on the.
I don't think it would work because I mean we tried this really lame America's Top Team back in the day, and it has a lot more meat and potatoes to it.
What I mean. There's been so many terrible groups. I mean, I can name even though I hate to say it, I don't want to say current ones, but like recent ones. I mean, I really don't like the Death Dolls. I've said it before. Somebody in the group, sorry I can't pull it up right now, but they commented that they fast forward. It's the only part they fast forward through. I really don't like it either.
Yeah, I'm seeing a movement as of late. Like they're kind of like all joining your stance on her not being havoc all over it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't want to say I don't know. Maybe I was ahead of it or whatever, but yeah, we want the havoc back. We want our monster back. And so sorry, I got to throw in. He called my boy Robles called it the Speedball Swift Club. Which pretty cool, and he would like to see ACH, Kira Hogan, Myron Reed, and Royce Chambers in it. Which I mean, I just gave him a bunch of who would you like to see in it, and that would be cool. I don't know.
Pretty good choices. I just with ACH, is he out there to grab right now?
I think he might be. I don't know. I haven't heard shit about that dude.
Yeah, I've heard nothing from him since I think MLW days, so I don't know. I don't know. Quite a while ago, and I know Myron Reed is out there for getting because a lot of people want him in Impact. So
okay, well here's another random quick question that came up today. Ryback, would you do it? Yes or no?
I'm gonna have to say yes, I would. I know that's big with a lot of people.
I actually would too. I think Impact could do. I mean, first of all, people forget he was over as fuck. Remember what was the thing he did?
Feed me more.
I was going to say eat me more. Eat more. But I mean, feed me more. That was huge. Everybody was doing that shit.
Well, I asked him that question. I was actually on his channel, and he's like, he said, "Sorry, brother," but he goes, "I'm not really feeling wrestling right now." He goes, okay, well, "If you want me to face Josh Alexander, I can tell you I'm gonna, but until things are signed and."
I see. So he wants to be like a top kind of. He wants to walk in as a top. Well.
And I don't know. I kind of got a lot of an ego, but a little bit of an ego. And I don't fault that on him. I think maybe being part of like a big company like WWE, maybe he's expecting more from even from Impact. So I don't know, some discrepancy there in terms of dollar sign.
I think that's his problem with most things, and I think he makes pretty good money, not off wrestling. So it's I'll come in if you give me this, or screw it, I'll just stay retired. But whatever, we're not begging for Ryback. I just happen to.
No.
Somebody mentioned it today, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
Why not? So just really fast, my boy also wanted to see Alicia meeting a masked man, and just the idea of a masked man. Like, I feel like we haven't seen that in wrestling in a while. I can't think of the last time there was, and I want to see like months of it. You know what I mean? Like, a masked man is a thing you can go for with a really long. You don't even know who. You don't even need to know who it is when you're starting this gimmick. Like, if you're Impact, you know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
just a masked man gimmick, and then a horror kind of thing. Which is your.
Well, NWA had that as kind of their thing at one point. They had the question mark. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
if you.
no, I don't want that. That was goofy. I want just like
Yeah,
a scary masked guy showing up, and you don't know who's under the mask because he's just doing
yeah.
crazy shit. More like a horror movie.
But it's just kind of neat that you're kind of like on that same, like
Yeah,
that.
I'm thinking JaySin kind of thing, which
Yeah,
I'm sure you might know.
yeah.
If you don't, Gary, there was this movie series called Friday the 13th. You should check it out. Pretty solid. I heard there was like one or two good movies, but whatever. Sorry, Gary has a movie channel. If you don't know about it, Gary's Movie Emporium, and check that out. Okay, back to the review here. So, PCO, I really like this. Steve Maclin calls out PCO, and PCO gets jumped from behind by Singh and Shira. I don't know why the hell Singh and Shira are with PCO, but Santino comes out and makes a match between PCO, which he beats Singh, pretty quickly. I thought it should have been a little quicker, but also I kind of like that they're giving Singh and who else? I was gonna say Raj. I'm getting mixed up here. Which Singh is this? Bhupinder?
No, that Bhupender's kind of like on his own. Remember, he had he's had instances where he's at odds with Singh and Shira.
Okay, well,
Bhupender's
damn it, I'm racist.
with the longer hair.
Damn it, I'm racist. Whatever. You all just got me, and I can't edit it.
I might add.
Oh yeah, okay, yes. So PCO got the win, pretty dominant. Yeah. I love the flashback this week, and I never say things like that, but just because it was Aldis, like he's back, it makes sense, and it was also against Chris Daniels, one of my goddamn favorites, like in the history of.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's who it was. I think last time we recorded, I thought it was AJ Styles, but you're right. It was Christopher Daniels, and it went on to say that he was 23 years old when he debuted in Impact, or TNA back then.
Another thing I liked a lot, Kenny King, and this was something I didn't notice until we recorded like twice, and like the second time I caught it, that Kenny King won a match on BTI against Sheldon Jean, and then he kind of like played Gene or like talked him into, I guess, joining him. Is that what you got out of it?
I kind of feel like they might be trying to like make their own version of All Night Express, just because like they're similar in stature, and I could see them actually being a tag team.
Yeah, or possibly he's getting him to join the Cobra Kai like group that is happening behind the scenes as we're all speaking, and we don't even know what's happening. But who knows? We'll see about that. Non-title match, which I love, gotta say. Totally love just the idea of a non-title match, because they've been having way too goddamn many title matches. Not everybody needs to have a title match. Not every champion has to have the fucking title on the line. You know what I mean? It really annoys me. Just the idea that Rhino is getting a title shot next week. Like, come on. Why?
Yeah. And another problem with this episode is we later got the Swinger versus El Generico, and I think I would have saved something like that for BTI.
I was actually going to skip past that one because, no, I agree. I mean, and I don't know if they cut that street fight or if that's what's happening this week, maybe. But I mean, if they cut a street fight for a Swinger segment where, I mean, it's even more than, because it's like he gets a segment and then a match. You know what I mean? And like after stuff. I don't know. It's a little much. I don't know. I'm curious how, again.
Swingers Palace went under, that character should have been kind of like maybe cut from creative, or or like maybe
give him a break.
Yeah, or something.
Give him a few months off. Let him return. Like, it's the same jokes. It's the same shit. It's whatever. I don't want. I've been tired of Swinging for a while. I'm curious if other people are, but I mean, I could see him like in it. Whatever. He just needs a little break, I think. Then come back, freshen up, or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I really love the Kenny King thing, and I'm curious what's going to happen with that. The Design versus the Bullet Club, I mean, Bullet Club won. This is pretty obvious. There's no reason to think the Design would have had a chance. I don't like that Angels lost. I mean, this dude's really, really good. And I'm sorry, I don't like that he ate the pin, or whatever you want to call it. Like, he's like the definitely much better than Khan. I mean, I would say he's one of the best wrestlers on the roster. I mean, if anyone's seen his match against Omega, it was actually insane on AEW. They went like 30 minutes, but he's like a joke here. So I'm thinking he's not signed.
That, and I think right now Impact Creative wants to kind of bill Khan as a kind of a monster and like kind of unbeatable. And I know recently he had gotten a victory over Sami Callihan, so I'm guessing they're trying to book him really strong, almost kind of like a Morrissey kind of character.
Yeah, that's fair, but then don't put him against the Bullet Club, you know?
Yeah.
Let them beat Hotch and whatever, you know what I mean? Let's give the Bullet Club a week off. As much as we love them, they're not going to pull a great match out of the design. I mean, this was fine. It is what it is. And what else do we got here? Oh, it's that time again, folks. Okay, got a new mail one. Got a new mailbag question this week. I'm a little loud. I'm not used to recording this early. Sorry. This is from Steve in the Bronx. That is New York City. I was going to say my hometown, but I'm in Staten Island, which is not even close. Well, it's kind of, whatever. What's up, fellas? Ain't Maclin's character the best? Former military, America First guy, sounds MAGA to me. He even has minorities doing his dirty work, LOLs. Okay, I'll be honest, I just read that. And I've been thinking about something like that. I mean, I literally just said I don't know why he's with the, Singh and, what the hell, Shira?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that weird for like an all-American type guy? Like, are they doing a MAGA type character? Like, and sorry if you don't know MAGA, or like, I don't want to get. Well, yeah, I do want to get political, but like a super Republican type, Donald Trump fan. Like, but they don't have to go that far. Like, just what they're doing now, like, has him being like the American. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to boo a guy. Like, how do you boo a former American soldier? Like.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I guess my question is, do you think they're doing this? Like, do you think what do you see out of this character?
Well, the more you keep, like, the topic and everything, the more I get thinking about it. It's like, since day one, what has Scott been doing but stacking the deck on Mac? What he can do. He's always like, I'm not, you're not going to win, and we're going to do this, and you're going to wait your turn, and you're going to have to beat this person to get that person. And it just kind of feels like there is some like little bit of substance to what you're saying, Jay.
Yeah, like I don't think they're ever going to go like crazy far. I mean, but again, I don't know if that was the best way to say it for the guy, this dude to say it, but saying using minorities to do his dirty work. But is that not what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, now think about it, like when he celebrations, there were many. I don't know if they were like privates or whatever in the ring, and they were like all pretty much of the black persuasion. And
oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah,
I missed that.
And I don't know, maybe he's trying to start like kind of like his own hit squad or something. I don't know.
Well, whatever. That was an interesting question. Maybe not. Maybe a bit much for the political side, but hey, screw that. I mean, that's like it's wrestling. To me, it's wrestling. I don't give a shit what you do. I mean, they're like we always say, Impact's like a little bit too liberal, I think, or they've gotten a little bit too liberal. So if they do a character like this, I mean, I really think it's gonna be like a game changer. You know what I mean? Like, and if you get people to believe like this person already does, that's the kind of character he is. You know what I mean? Like they'd be like, oh shit, check this out. We finally got a character of our own. Like even if that's not what he actually is, but if he's kind of like that, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, like it wasn't so long. I mean, it was quite a while ago, but it wasn't that long ago that WWE was doing things with Sergeant Slaughter and Iron Sheik, and Iron Sheik and them and Sergeant Slaughter had a different cause, but at the end of the day, a friend of my friend is my enemy. So that's more or less. I mean, maybe this is going for kind of like a shock.
I mean, Jesus Christ, how about Hulk Hogan? Like you want to talk about? I mean, I know it's not the '80s anymore, but like USA was like a huge part of Hogan. I mean, it's like it's something that, like, it's not used a lot because I think people are afraid, actually. You know what I mean? Like these days to like be too pro anything, including USA. But whatever. I guess we'll see how that goes. I'm interested. So Santino got attacked, and Dirty Dango stepped in, quickly resigning as the assistant to the director of authority, which it was never a thing, which I love because it's like Dwight Schrute from The Office.
Yeah, you made yourself that.
Yeah, and then he became the detective of authority. So I mean, it seems way too obvious that it's him that I'm actually thinking it's not now.
Yeah, it might not be, but I kind of felt like he was trying to hide the evidence, like to the.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, it's obviously him. Whatever. So we mentioned Jody beats Sparks. Pretty cool. Quick thing there. Kazarian, we mentioned. Definitely check that out. We mentioned the oldest thing. Definitely check that out. And then there is the Knockouts title main event match, which is going to end our show. And pretty damn good. I thought it was actually surprisingly good because I didn't think Taylor could. I mean, and no offense, she's great, but I mean, I feel like Deanna's like one of the best in the world, and it's kind of hard to hang with her, but Taylor totally did.
Well, it totally, because like Taylor Wilde's kind of been out of the wrestling scene for, at least on our soil. She's been out of the wrestling scene and Impact for quite a while, and I didn't know. I more or less didn't know she still had it. She proved on this night she could hold her own. I could honestly see maybe putting a title on her in the future, Jay.
Just want to mention she's 37 years old, so pretty awesome. Looks incredible. Is still wrestling incredible. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind another run at some point with her, but I mean, I feel like it's Jordan and Deanna right now. Then,
oh yeah, definitely.
Kind of miles until the next person, which might be Masha, but her booking has been a disaster, so we don't know. And yeah, that's about. Sorry, Kylene ended up jumping Deanna after the match, and then Jordan made the save, which was pretty cool, seeing Jordan and Deanna. And then I think they announced a match for the tapings where Jordan and Deanna team up against the Coven. So that's cool. And that's all I got for this show.
Yeah, I haven't got a lot. Deanna was able to hit the Venus de Milo for the pinfall, so she kind of wins in her old fashion of her stylish pin cover. So
that's another little thing I love. Like, you don't need to. I feel like wrestling, you always have to hit your finisher. Yeah. And like, she has like 2 or 3, and I think that's so goddamn badass, and I'd like to see more of that. Kind of reminds me of Perry Saturn.
Oh yeah, well, the Rings of Saturn, and then he had like
he had like 3 different friggin', he had like so many sick, just off creative moves. But yeah, that's about it for this week. Sorry we were so late. And subscribe, do all that stuff. Check out the Impact Wrestling group on Facebook, open to pretty much anyone unless I don't like you. And we will catch you next week, and hopefully sooner.
Catch you later, everybody.